Hi, this is Andy Moore-Crispin for Gadget TV on Butterscotch.com, and today we have in the studio the new iPhone 4. Now we have the 32 gigabyte black model in the studio. That goes for $299 on Apple's website. There's also a 16 gigabyte model which goes for $199. Like I said, we have the black model in the studio. There's also a white model available. So a couple of the biggest changes that have hit the iPhone 4. Now the iPhone 3GS, which was the previous iteration of the iPhone, really felt like an incremental upgrade to the iPhone 3G. This really does feel like a brand new iPhone and kind of the next evolutionary step. So the first thing, it doesn't really come across that well on our camera, but the screen is much higher resolution. We're looking at a 960 by 640 pixel LCD with a density of 326 pixels per inch. So that's pretty amazing. So basically, from about a foot away is what Apple's literature is saying. From about a foot away, you don't even know that it's you're really looking at the screen. You won't be seeing any pixels or anything like that. So the other major change is multitasking, which we access by double tapping the home button down here. So now we can see all of the applications that we're running in the background. Now these applications aren't actually running in the background. It's basically a frozen state from the last time we visited in. So we can tap any one of them and be taken back to the state that we were in. Obviously we were just loading this game up when we paused it. But you're taken back to the previous state of the app or game that you're running. Now, it's not the best implementation of multitasking. We'd much rather see like applications actually running in the background. For example, spooling a YouTube video while we're surfing a web page, or loading a web page in one tab while we're perhaps checking our email or something like that. But it's a decent start, and as we see more and more app developers integrating multitasking into their apps, we'll see this feature really start to catch on and become a lot more useful. Go back to the home screen here by tapping the home button. Now the other major change, there are many major changes. This is one of the major changes, is the new 5 megapixel camera, which is on the back of the device here. So we can see if we put strong bat in here, you can see it's much better at focusing at close range. We also have a new LED flash that complements the 5 megapixel camera, so we can set it to off, auto, or on. In this case, we'll put it on just to see here that it's actually lighting up the scene a little bit better. Turn that guy back off. Another big change is the fact that we now have a front-mounted camera. So the camera on the back is a 5 megapixel camera. The front-mounted camera is a VGA camera, so 640 by 480. And we can flip between the two by just tapping the button here. And now we'll see our camera guy and producer, Paul Stachniak. Wave to the nice people. Hello. And we can also record video either using the front-mounted camera or the rear-mounted camera. Now we can't actually, if we were recording video, we can't switch between the cameras while we're recording video. But we can record in 720p HD video using the back camera here. So if you snap a lot of pictures with your existing iPhone, and you probably have run into the limitations of the kind of crappy camera that's on the back of that guy, this is a really kind of major change that you're really going to enjoy. Now on the front of the device we have an aluminosilicate glass that's apparently the same, as Apple's fond to mention, the same glass that they use in the windshields for high-speed trains and helicopters. It also has the oleophobic coating that we also saw on the Apple 3GS, the iPhone 3GS. So while it does smudge up with our fingerprints, they're very easy to take off with just a cloth. Now all along the side, this metal band actually acts as the antennas as well. On this side of the device, we have the volume rocker's been replaced with 2 distinct buttons, and we still have the mute switch up here. On the bottom, we have the now standard 30-pin connector. We also have 2 microphones, one for actually picking up our voice and one for doing noise cancellation. So it'll take the sound, the ambient sound in a room or out on the street, and actually try and cancel that out so that your phone calls are much clearer. Here we have the tray for the micro SIM. On the top, we have the power unlock button, as well as a 3.5 millimeter stereo headphone jack. Now on the back of the device, we have another glass coating, or another piece of glass, I should say, and the 5 megapixel camera here with the flash right here. Now some of the major changes we've seen here, and this really speaks to iOS 4, is a new threaded view on our email. We probably won't have many emails in here. That's okay. We can now actually use, with the Retina display, we can actually take a much better view of books on our iPhone 4. It actually becomes more of a viable reading device. With the iPhone 3G and the iPhone 3GS, you can get iBooks on there, and you can read books on the go, but the screen makes it basically not an optimal experience. Now internally it's using Apple's own processor, the A4, and it really is a very fast experience when you basically any application that you want to load up. If you're used to sitting there and waiting with your 3G and to a lesser extent the 3GS, you'll really notice the difference when you go to load up an application. Now another major change, in addition to the accelerometer that we've seen in iPhone 3G and iPhone 3GS, we also have a gyroscope. So if we pick up this game here, this is called Gun Range. This actually makes very good use of the gyroscope. So now with the accelerometer, it would notice, or it would recognize tipping motions like this, but this is very much the responsive kind of control that we're used to seeing on, for example, the Nintendo Wii with the Wii Remote and the Wii Motion Plus. So load up a level here. So now what we'll be seeing is a gun sight, and every motion we make with the phone, however slight, is actually translated right away onto the screen. So I'm actually trying to play this on the TV screen here, which is not the easiest. There we go. But you can see that our motions really are instantly translated to the action on the screen. So while a lot of us do play games on our iPhone 3Gs and 3GSs, this really opens up a bunch of new possibilities for new games and new control schemes in the games that we already play and love. So that's a quick look at the iPhone 4G. For Gadget TV, I'm Andrew Moore-Crispin. For more sweet stuff, visit butterscotch.com.